and welcome back to Nerdy Nerds. Ladies and gentlemen, over the last 24 hours, we've had some insane news. And unless you've been living under a rock, I'm assuming you've already heard it because Robert Downey Jr. is back and he is going to be playing Doctor Doom in the next at least 2 Avengers movies. Now, this is extremely huge news. It is very confusing and quite exciting now that we know that Doctor Doom is coming to the MCU. That part of it, I think everyone kind of speculated, everyone kind of had an idea it was going to happen, especially after the whole Kang incident. But now that we have a confirmation that Doom is the next big bad, I think this is quite an exciting time. But there are a few things I want to go through. There are a few things I need to talk to you about. And I want to hear what you guys think about this announcement as a whole. So once this video is finished, make sure you go to the comments. Let me know your opinions. Let me know your thoughts. And let's have a proper chinwag about this announcement as a whole. But let me just say, if you guys are waiting for the next Elden Ring video, I am still writing the script. It will be here in about a day or two. It has just been quite a big video that I'm working on. So if you guys are waiting for that, it won't be long. It has just been huge. So, right, let's get into Robert Downey Jr. and his big return to the MCU. Now, as you guys know, Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man. And when I say he is Iron Man, I mean he is Iron Man. There is no one else that can play that role now because he encapsulated it so well. And obviously, as we all know, Tony Stark died in one of the most impactful ways that we could see in the MCU. And he is really speaking, his death has shaped and altered the whole timeline of the MCU over the past few years. It hasn't felt the same, and I get that. I fully understand that. And it kind of feels like a bit of a cheap trick then to bring Robert Downey Jr. back and put him in a role that isn't Tony Stark. And I don't think I would have liked to see Tony Stark again either. I think maybe if they did a variant one day, it might have been okay. It might have been quite like a shocking cameo. But to have Tony Stark be dead and then to bring the same face back in another character as Victor Von Doom, for me just feels like a cheap shot. And I don't understand why that was a decision that they made and thought it'd be a good idea. It kind of ruins the whole legacy of Iron Man and his death being so pivotal to the MCU. Now, for me, it kind of feels like they knew we wanted Doctor Doom, and we did. Don't get me wrong, we all really wanted Doctor Doom. But it kind of feels to me like they've gone, right, the last few years, failure. We've struggled, we've not done great. We had Loki that was brilliant, and then we had maybe Deadpool was also brilliant. But not much else has really speaking been that pivotal to the storyline. There's nothing else that really sort of stands out as a really good movie that we have all kind of come together and gone, right, this is the story we want to follow. We knew that Kang was coming, and then obviously the whole stuff with Jonathan Majors. I fully understand them having to drop Kang, but now I feel like they're rushing. Now I feel like they're panicking. And I get they got the Russo brothers back, and that is great news. But the Avengers movies are coming out in 2026 and 2027. That is not very far away. So they have literally less than 2 years, because it's May 2026 when they're planning on doing the first one. They have less than 2 years to build up Doctor Doom. And I mean, we had years to build up Thanos. And it kind of feels like we're just chucking in the fan favourite as fast as they can, because they know that we're dissipating. We're starting to struggle with the franchise as a whole. And that to me is worrying, because if they really felt confident about the future of the MCU, I think they would do at least one more Avengers movie without this kind of caliber of big bad. And then they would tease Doctor Doom, and then later on down the line we'd get Secret Wars and whatever else. Like, for me, it just kind of feels like they've gone, right, we're struggling. What can we do to bring everyone back? Robert Downey Jr. was everyone's favourite. Doctor Doom's everyone's favourite. Bang. Let's put them together and let's just make everyone happy. When really speaking, it just screams we're scared in my eyes. And like I said, 2 years I don't think is long enough for the build-up of Doctor Doom. as much as we're excited to have him, I think he needs the respect that he deserves, as he is the Marvel supervillain. He is the one that everyone wants. Other than I also want Galactus. I'd love to see Galactus, and I kind of feel like they could have easily done a Galactus storyline sooner rather than later, and maybe then brought in Doctor Doom afterwards, unless they're waiting for Galactus down the line, whatever. But I kind of feel like Doctor Doom isn't being respected here, and I also feel like Iron Man is not being respected here. It has gone downhill so quickly that I think this is their way of saying, right, let's get some money in the bank, and let's pretty much get ourselves out of here. Because I don't see it lasting much longer. If I'm being honest, as worrying as that is, I have absolutely adored the Marvel Cinematic Universe since, I mean, Iron Man 1. As much as Hulk was a part of it, I think Iron Man was really speaking the real start for everyone. That was where everyone's, like, the light was turned on, and they had just an insane run all the way to Infinity War. And now it kind of feels like they're in panic mode, and they're going to get as much money as they can before they know that it inevitably is going to go downhill. And, I mean, that is the way they've done it. And unfortunately for Robert Downey Jr., not only did he die a hero, but he also lived long enough to become a villain, which is mental when you think about it. So I don't get it. I really don't understand why they've done it. I really did want to see Doctor Doom, and I think the actual movies themselves are going to be decent because of the fact they've got the right people making it. But again, 2 years to build it up, 2 years, and then 1 year from that film to get the script together and really get it down, for me, doesn't feel like long enough time. I'm really quite worried, if I'm being honest with you. It just kind of feels like a rush job. And that is the most scary part for me. Fantastic Four, really excited for it. But again, if there's anything wrong with Fantastic Four and Fantastic Four flops, that's pretty much it. We're pretty much then told that the rest of the films are going to be a bit awful. And as much as the Avengers might save it slightly, for me, it kind of feels like this is the end. And they know it. They know they're coming to the end of the line of really speaking profitable Marvel movies. And I think this is where we start to see the downfall and the end of the MCU. So I hope I'm wrong. I really do hope I'm wrong. But that's kind of where I feel like they're heading towards. And the thing is, there are other people who could have played Doctor Doom that I think would have been better for the role. Not only as... Because I think Robert Downey Jr. is a great actor. Don't get me wrong. He's a brilliant actor. But I think just the simple fact that he was Iron Man takes it away from the immersion of the film. So having someone like Cillian Murphy play Robert Downey Jr., play Doctor Doom, I think would have been brilliant. But again, it's the rushing. It's the fact that we're not far away from the next Avengers movie, which might be exciting to know that we haven't got to wait that long, but to know that they've got to go through production, they've got to go through writing scripts, to know they've got to go through building it up. 2 years for me just doesn't seem like enough time, and it really, to me, screams alarm bells. So I'm curious of what you guys think on that opinion alone, because it just doesn't seem like a great thing. It really does seem like they're trying to get their money and bounce. And if that's the case, devastating. I think there's loads of movies and loads of storylines that we haven't seen yet that I would really like to see. Obviously, we want World War Hulk, would be insane, but unfortunately at the moment we've got Smart Hulk, so they need to somehow remove Smart Hulk from the storyline, unless they do another variant of Hulk. That could be possible, but World War Hulk would be amazing. We want, what's his face? I mentioned him a moment ago, Galactus. I want Galactus. I think Galactus would be the ideal storyline to have in between a Doctor Doom story. There is a lot of stories that I want to see that I don't think we're really going to get a proper chance at seeing. My apologies, my phone died and I took it off because we finished the video, but apparently it cut off. So I do apologise if the camera's all wonky. But yeah, when it comes to the movies, I think there's a lot of storylines that we're going to struggle to get as big budget movies now. We have the X-Men coming. We know the X-Men are part of the MCU now, but how they're going to do that, how they're going to introduce the X-Men. Obviously, we've had 2 versions of the X-Men already throughout our lives. And don't get me wrong, they've both been, I mean, obviously the earlier X-Men were probably way more enjoyable than the most recent X-Men. But do we really want another reboot of the X-Men? And if we do, how excited for it are we? I know we're always excited for a new Spider-Man. Luckily enough, Tom Holland has been phenomenal, but we now need to go down the direction of finding the X-Men, and I think that is really speaking where they're going to pivot off to now. They're going to start to leave this side of the MCU behind with the Avengers, and I think they're going to start dissipating now. And I think the next move then is to move on to the X-Men. Whether or not they go down the line of X-Men versus the Avengers first, and then follow the X-Men from there, or whether or not they introduce the X-Men, go through a storyline with them, and then have the X-Men versus the Avengers. I'm not sure how they're going to do it. I really am quite skeptical on the future of the MCU at the moment, just because of how this whole announcement feels like it is just a bit of a rush job. So I hope I'm wrong. I really do hope I'm wrong. I want to know what you guys think at home in the comments. Let me know what you think on what I've said. Let me know your own opinions on what you think is going on with the MCU, whether or not you're excited for the future, whether you think this is really exciting, or whether or not you think this is actually alarm bells. I really do think it is alarm bells, but I hope I'm wrong. Ladies and gentlemen, if you like this kind of content, like the video. I have got some Elden Ring lore videos coming out. I've already got a bunch out already. We're going to try and move back into do some more of the Fallout videos. I kind of got a bit stuck in, and my headlights are heading towards the Elden Ring videos because they're very much a lot of work. I'm doing a lot of scripting, a lot of research. So at the moment, I've been putting a lot of effort into them. But if you guys like all this kind of content, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. And ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you in the next one. Cheers!
If you enjoyed that video, why not subscribe?
If you enjoyed that video, why not subscribe? It'll help me and Natty continue to do the work that we're doing, and hopefully you'll enjoy it. Thanks!